Hello Booktube, I'm Peg, the book prize addict, and welcome to my channel. Well, it's getting to be just the time of year that I love. It's book prize season. We've got several really big ones coming up. One of the biggest is called the Women's Prize for Fiction. It used to be called the Baileys, and before that the Orange Prize, but it's going to be, the long list for it is going to be in 10 days on March 8th, and I was thinking about it and thinking, oh, maybe I should do something about talking about books that might be on the list. But, you know, I don't really keep track of the books I read. This is silly. And so I don't really have some place to look back and see what might be on them. But yesterday, this fantastic video came up on the predictions for the Women's Book Prize on Eric Carl Anderson's channel with his friend Anna. And it is a fantastic video where they each have 16 books that are eligible for the Women's Prize, and they don't know what each other have, and it's just a great program, and they are just delightful. They work off of each other very well. Now, Eric has been, I've followed him for a long time, even before Booktube. He has a fantastic blog and just does a great job of analyzing modern novels. I hadn't really known much about Anna before, but she's a professional, I believe, in the book world, and is really smart and had a lot to contribute to this conversation. So anyway, she and I now know each other and have subscribed to each other's channel. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of her. I might note that one thing, you need to watch this if you haven't watched it. Watch it before you even watch mine. But I want you to note also Eric's t-shirt. I don't know if you can tell much here, but when you see it on the thing, you'll see that all the time he's talking about going to the gym and working out. Well, it has really paid off. You'll know when you see his t-shirt. Okay, so what I've decided to do, and I kind of alerted them to the fact, and they didn't say don't do it, is I'm going to start with their lists and go through and just about all the books I can find at my library, either electronically or hard copy. So I decided I go through their suggestions and read from 30 to 50 pages each. It'll be kind of like, you know, people do the page 112 tag or whatever, where they just read one page, and people like Sean, the book maniac, can tell all kind of things from just reading one page. In fact, if he's going to like the book or not. So I figured by reading 30 to 50 pages, I could tell a lot about it, and certainly I'm not going to get them all read. So this is a start. So this is my version of the page 112, finding out what you can from the book. So I'm going to start with them, and once I start going through theirs, which they have some great picks, and I realize I do remember a few of my own I've read, so I'll add mine on at the end after I talk about theirs. Okay, so I'm putting links to their fabulous video below, and also to Anna's channel, and I'll also talk about the books and tell whose selection there were. So okay, let's get to the books. First we have, this is going to be a juggling feat because I have some things in hard copy and some things on pictures, but we'll just see how this goes. Okay, first I have a pick from Anna, and it's called White Chrysanthemum, and you can't see this picture as well. It's a woman with diving equipment with water behind. This one you can make out more. It has again a woman. I think this is the English version, and it says right on it, you can get a very good idea what it's about. 2 sisters, 1 soldier, no escape. This takes place in Korea and it starts in 1943 when Korea was occupied by the Japanese. And it involves two sisters, one who is a sea diver, which is a very proud position she's proud to have, involves lots of training, and her other sister is younger and kind of waits around while she's diving for fish, etc. Anyway, and just to I don't want to give too much away, but it tells, I believe in the preface, that she is captured by some Japanese soldiers. The older one is, while protecting the younger one, and taken to what they call the become a comfort woman, which is in the Japanese military brothel. And it continues the story of these two sisters through the years as they try to reconnect, and the guilt the one feels. And this is actually, the author is part Korean, and she visited her grandmother's village in Korea and found out about comfort women and that part of the history. So I guess you could say in some ways it's maybe a little autobiographical. Okay, next we have a pick by Eric, and it's called Goodbye Vitamin. Here's the copy I had to read from, the American copy. Much better is the English version, Goodbye Vitamin. Much more indicative of the book, I should say. In fact, it says on the front, "Hello, aging parents. Hello, Alzheimer's." And that's kind of the story of it. It's about a 30-year-old woman living in San Francisco, and her life is just kind of in a mess. Her fiance has broken up with her, and she goes home for Christmas down to Los Angeles with her parents, and it becomes apparent that her father is suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's, and her mother asked her if she'd stay a year with him just to help with him, etc. Well, it sounds like the setup for a real sad, bad year, but actually it's amazing what this author has done with this book. And she does stay, and the effect that the dementia has on it, the author is able to use some humor that the family feels, and shows that the family uses actually humor and love to kind of conquer this situation. And one critic says it has a rare, devastating yet lighthearted approach to it. And I could certainly tell that from the part I read, that the author is very adept at having humor without actually laughing at anybody. So this is a really good one. Good pick, Eric. Okay, next we have one that everybody picked, even me. And I'm sure will be on the list, if not the winner. It's Ali Smith's Winter. This is the American version, not near as exciting as the English version. But first of all, let me show you this is a quartet that Ali Smith has written, two of them now, and on the seasons. And the first one she wrote was Autumn. This beautiful cover, and there was much talk about it last year. It was on the short list for the Booker, and many people thought it should have won. And now this one, Winter, is also a beautiful, it looks like it's probably an oil painting, beautiful portrait of winter. And there's all kinds of reviews on this, and everybody loves it. Nobody can really say why. It's just that her writing is so different and somewhat quirky, but delicious to read. I mean, you just stay glued to it. And I did read the first 50 pages, and already shows the focus on social issues that she's often uses as her theme, and many call it the post-Brexit novel, the first. Anyway, but in this one, in Autumn, the one before, she had this great scene where this woman was waiting in line at the post office. I mean, I don't know how she did it, but she turned that into a riot. And this one, even in the opening pages, she has a scene, comparable scene, where the woman goes to an eye doctor. I don't even know how to describe it, and I won't. But you need to read this just for that fantastic rendering of the eye doctor visit. Okay. Next we have, that's all on there. Okay, now we have hard copies. Okay, so that's the pics of Eric, Anna, and both of them. And now I have a couple just to show that weren't on their list, but I've picked. And the first one is called Boat People. This is by a Canadian author, and I talked about it just the other day on my Canadian Reads video. It's been picked for the short list for that, which from what everybody says, it's really fun to hear the debates when they come up, I think in April sometime on these books. But anyway, this one deals with immigrants from Sri Lanka, a man and his son, and the opening scene is fantastic. It shows them on this horribly crowded cargo ship with like 500 people on what should hold 300. This ship, and as they're coming into Canada, and their hopes, and it tells from the point of view of this immigrant and what happens when they get off, and it's just really very well done. And the other point of view is from a young woman lawyer who is brought in to help with the immigrants, and so I'm really hoping this one might make it. Okay, and next for one of my picks is Future Home of the Living God by Louise Erdrich. Now, she has won a lot of awards and writes a lot of books, just about all with Native American themes. And her former book, La Rose, won the National Book Critics Circle Award, and her book, The Roundhouse, won the National Book Award. So anyway, this is actually a dystopian thriller. It involves a half Native American woman who is pregnant and she'd been adopted, trying to find her original parents. And meanwhile, this dystopian thing, the government's kind of going crazy, and they're doing strange things to pregnant women, and she's trying to travel north through all this. So it also has a great opening theme, as they all seem to when you just read the first 50 pages. Okay, so that's my picks for today. I plan to be back with more, and I want to thank Anna and Erika for letting me talk about their picks, and I'll definitely be back with more.